So today is the day that I didn't know or didn't think I was ever going to see coming. I have this 2021 Ram 2500 with the 6.7 Cummins that I bought on President's Day just about 5 years ago, almost to the date. It's walnut brown, kind of a unique color. I absolutely love it. It's a truck that I had wanted, I had been dreaming about owning for a long time. Since my childhood, I just fell in love with diesels for some reason. And I was able to trade in the truck I had. I hit the right exact time in 2021 when my current truck had somehow appreciated in value, and the interest rates on these were so low that something that would normally be way out of my price range was finally feasible. And I found this unique one, tradesman level, which is exactly what I wanted, out about an hour and a half away from my home. And it was in this awesome walnut brown color that you almost never see. I don't think I've ever seen another one on the road like it. And I love it. It is fun to drive. It sounds cool. The color is unique. It's a very comfortable ride for a truck of this size. The maintenance on it has been easy, and it is just a blast to drive. Relatively speaking, for a 3/4 ton pickup. My family loves it. It's got a huge amount of space in the back seat, and my daughter has basically grown up back there, and she's very comfortable in it. It's just a great all-around vehicle. The coil springs all around make it not too stiff. It's got great towing, great hauling, and I don't do that heavy of stuff in it, but it's really just a killer vehicle, really. It's treated us really well. And today is my last day with it. When we bought it, I had imagined that I was going to be driving this until the wheels fell off. The plan was to buy it and buy something that was long-lived and reliable that we could keep for a very long time. And while I did do my research on modern diesel emissions ahead of time, I guess I didn't go that deep into it, because the more that I owned this and the more I learned about it, the more I realized that this was probably not the best long-term option. I have not had any real issues with the emissions over the time that I've owned the vehicle. Really, the only times that it has been in were this stupid tailgate lock recall, the recall for the transmission where transmission fluid would come up the dipstick and spray on the engine and catch fire. Real cool, real great, real great engineering there. And I had one instance where it was in the middle of January 2 years ago, and I had a def injector die, and I didn't get the full D-rate email, but the check-in or D-rate on the dashboard yet. But I was really close to home, and I basically just drove it straight to the dealer before it could give me any more issues. But the problem was, what really spooked me on that was that, number one, it was covered by warranty. It would have been very expensive had it not been. But at the time, I had called, I live in Northeast Ohio in a pretty big urban center, and there's dealerships. There's a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership. They're all over the place. And I called every single one of them, and every single one of them was like, well, we could get it in probably 4 to 6 weeks. There's a shortage of heavy-duty mechanics right now, and so it's going to probably be 4 to 6 weeks before we can even take a look at it. You can come drop it off, and if the mechanic gets time to go plug it in, he'll take a look, and if it's something easy, they'll try and squeeze it in, but if it isn't, you're going to have to wait. And I think I had probably 4 or 5 dealerships that I basically had been given the same answer to at all of them. And I'm not using this truck for any heavy hauling, or really, I'm not earning any money using it. It's a commuter vehicle, and we take it camping in the summer, but I mostly bought it because I wanted a big truck that was a diesel, and it was that simple. But with anybody who has a car, being without use of your car for 4 to 6 weeks is not really tenable. It's not really a situation that I could deal with. And it really spooked me ended up getting done in 3 days because they plugged it in and found out it was just this simple def injector had broke. But the kind of taste it had left in my mouth was really bad. It was just not happy about it one bit. I've lived with it like that for 2 years, but my warranty ends in 2 weeks. And as that time was approaching, there's also been a lot of news coming out over the last maybe year or so that these 5th-gen Rams with the Cummins are having major down the road issues when it comes to reliability. I even heard some folks saying that they felt like this could be Ram's version of the 6.0 Power Stroke, that they're having that many issues down the road on these. And so I guess part of the issue was that they switched to that graphite composite block, and they did a lot of weight removal on that, and so the engine block is weaker. But then also there's all these issues cropping up with the hydraulic lifters and the roller that they put on those. Those hydraulic lifters get jammed and eat up the camshaft, and now they're saying that there's issues with the rocker arm pedestals not being machined flat and choking off oil and causing a ticking issue. And they're saying that those are hitting close to 80 to 100,000 miles. And I've got 45 on this now. My warranty's dying. And so between that and all the emissions issues, I just don't really want to have to deal with that at all. It's the kind of worst case scenario for me, which you could see echoed all over the internet, is people are either getting ready to go on a big trip, or they're out on a trip, or they're out on work, and they're hundreds of miles from home, and they get the derate warning, and they're in the middle of nowhere, and they're at the mercy of whatever dealership or mechanic is in the area. And in many cases, people are struggling, or they're leaving their vehicles someplace for weeks on end while they figure out what the issues are. And as someone who takes my family on trips in this vehicle quite regularly, it seems like emissions issues aren't a question of if, but when. And I was simply not sleeping well, knowing that at basically any moment I could be getting a derating warning on my dashboard, and didn't matter where I was at all. And so that's really my main driver for getting rid of this vehicle ahead of time. But the second part of it is simply that it seems like specifically these 2019 and laters are having so many major issues that could potentially destroy the engine if you don't catch it in time, that what I was buying I was thinking I was buying something that was going to last forever, and it seems like that is far from the truth. And so I'm really disappointed to be getting rid of this vehicle, because it has operated pretty well for me all this time. I've been doing my own maintenance on it, and I've found that to be not too challenging, and it's really been a great car, a great truck. And I hate just dumping this thing simply because of what ifs, but if you look around, it seems like there's plenty of evidence out there that there's nobody that's exempt from this, and it strikes at probably what is going to be the most inconvenient time when you're on the road or not home or have to commute to work every day. It's just a major issue. The kind of the part that sealed the deal for me on this was there are certainly, so where I live in Ohio, we have every other year e-check requirements for our vehicles. And so simply deleting this, like so many people do, has an extra layer of difficulty here where I live, because I do have to go in and have it inspected and checked every other year. I would say probably 7 out of 10 diesels that I see on the road, like mine around here, are deleted. So someone who's looking for it and knows what to look for, it's very obvious. It's not really hidden all that well for the most part. And I know what workarounds these people are using to get there, but it requires basically going into the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and lying straight to their face. And that is not something that I am comfortable doing personally. And so since that doesn't really fit with what I'm comfortable doing, deleting is not really an option for me here where I live right now. kind of the flip side of this, I think it's 7 counties in Ohio are the Cleveland metropolitan area and the counties that surround it. And those are the only ones that require an e-check. And the state of Ohio has been trying to get rid of e-check for a very long time. And for me personally, beyond, before I was impacted by this and on a diesel engine, I was never really someone who was for it. I kind of view it as a tax on the poor, the people who can't afford to keep their cars maintained, or the people who can't afford to have major emissions repairs on their cars are the ones who get hit the hardest by these periodic checks. And the state of Ohio has been fighting to eliminate e-checks in these counties for probably at least a decade. It keeps coming up. The state politicians all vote for it and pass it, and then it fails when it gets to the federal EPA approval. And this last time around, they were proposing essentially that we weren't totally eliminating the e-check, but they were making it into a system where once or every other year, you would simply sign an attestation that you had not modified the emissions on your vehicle and that they were in compliance with federal mandated emissions laws. And that was the plan that they were going for and that they had approved. And it sat, I think that passed in July, and that had sat with the federal EPA for several months. And personally, I thought, oh, this is a shoo-in, because certainly the Trump administration's EPA is looking to roll back regulations, not enforce them more strongly or maintain them. But back in December, it was the federal EPA declined Ohio's request. And so the one kind of route around diesel emissions issues that I may have been comfortable with, the door closed on that as well. And so really the only final option that you have is just totally lying to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles about the weight of your vehicle and the weight and use of your vehicle. And I'm, like I said, not comfortable with that. So, and so my pressure release valve, which was always just, if I had major emissions issues by that time, I was hoping that the e-checks would be gone and that I could just, instead of investing in the emissions system, have it modified. When that door closed, that kind of sealed the fate on this vehicle. And so I'm getting ready to go sell it this evening. What have I bought instead? That's the interesting part. So about 3 years ago, I bought a 95 F250 with a 7.3 Power Stroke in it, manual transmission. You'll see it on this channel. It's the one that I've been driving there. And it's a blast, and obviously it's emissions free because of its age. And I love it, but it's not really comfortable for my family at all. And because of its age and condition, it's not really something that I'm wanting to expose to the winter roads here in Ohio. And so I have been searching for a while and finally closed a deal on a truck that was out of Reno, Nevada, 2004 Dodge Ram 3500 with a 5.9 Cummins. And it's got 117,000 miles on it. So it's certainly more miles than my 45,000 on this truck. But 117,000 miles on one of those 5.9 Cummins engines is barely anything, barely scratching the surface. So I'm confident that the powertrain is going to last on this. And if anything, I think the issues are going to be simply with the rest of the truck. But the previous owner maintained it very well. It's very clean. And so I'm relatively confident that this will be a good family vehicle for us. I'm not all that concerned about it. So that's going to be getting shipped here in a few weeks. Kind of the big difference was I've been looking at Ford Super Duties with the 7.3 since I'm already very familiar with that engine. My wife finds the OBS to be terribly uncomfortable, and looking at these third gen Dodges in the early 2000s, it looks like they have a lot of the comforts that the Ford Super Duties with the 7.3 that ended in 2003. Uh, Looks like those were lacking kind of a lot of the comforts that you'd expect of a quasi-modern vehicle, whereas this 2004 third gens seem to be relatively comfortable for what they are. They are relatively modern as far as dash electronics and things go, and uh, it does have a quad cab, so there's a little less space in the back, but it looks like it's everything I've read is indicated, and it's enough for adults and especially my daughter. So it looks like this truck is going to finally fulfill my goal of having something that is reliable, repairable, uh, something I can work on in my garage if there's something that's not a major issue. And uh, besides kind of the high mileage by vehicle standards, that's really my only reservation here. But it ended up being that I could, the price on that used Dodge was less than my sale value on this thing. And so I'm getting some money back. I'll have to pay Ohio sales tax on the new vehicle, and so that'll wipe out most of the difference. But overall, it's turning out to be almost exactly an even exchange. And I think this new vehicle, I've got a lot less reservations of it being able to survive long term or on the road or on family trips. So I'm really excited to get this in. It's going to be a big change. I'm going to really miss this truck. It's especially as this date has gotten closer and closer. I've kind of gone through stages of grieving. Simply, part of it was because I had the original impression that I was going to be driving this forever, or at least until it couldn't last much longer. And I've really liked it. It's really been a nice vehicle. And like I said, I have, besides I had to do brakes on it after about 35,000 miles. But on these big heavy duty trucks, that's especially in the Cleveland salt, that's not all that surprising. The front brakes were very due. The rear brakes had plenty of pad life left, but I was getting a lot of pulsing specifically from the back brakes, and I think it was because they were frozen because of rust. So, but other than doing brakes and these couple recalls and then the normal oil changes, fuel filter changes that I did myself, this vehicle's been wonderful. I really don't have anything bad to say about it, other than I've got major repairability and longevity concerns about it. And so the book is closing on this one, and I think this new 5.9 Cummins that's coming in is going to be a little bit more fun too. Certainly, it's going to have its quirks, but I'm looking forward to that, and I think it'll be a fun vehicle, and certainly sounds a lot cooler than this does too. So I'm looking forward to that. The engine in this 5.9 is a early 2004 federal engine, so it was 49 state legal. It was not legal in California. And the interesting thing I found out about it is it's got, I think it's 530 horsepower or 535 horsepower, but it's also got 555 pounds of torque. So that's about half of what this truck has. It's a significant difference in 20 years of vehicle development, but it's more than enough for what I need it for. And the interesting thing is this wasn't California legal because it doesn't have a catalytic converter on it. So the exhaust comes out of the turbo and goes through a muffler, and that's it. So if I decide to straight pipe it, I can. That's a plus legally. And the other thing that's nice about it is that in the 2004 and a half is when they started fiddling around with the emissions a little bit on the 5.9. They added an extra injection event, and they also introduced the kind of valve timing that they were calling in-cylinder EGR, and I don't have to live with any of that either. So this is really kind of the final version of completely emissions-free diesel engine that you can get, and this truck's in gorgeous condition. I'm looking forward to receiving it, and I don't think I'll have any problems living with it on a day-to-day basis. I ended up getting an automatic simply because I already have a manual pickup, and I think for a daily driver, an automatic will be a little bit easier to handle. Plus, my wife can't drive stick shift. And so if there's ever an instance where she needs to drive it, this is primarily going to be our family vehicle. So it will be, she may need to drive it from time to time. So we kind of need that automatic capability there, realizing that I will probably be needing to have the transmission rebuilt in the somewhat near future. As far as this YouTube channel specifically, this channel was called 73 Bluey because I didn't ever imagine that I would be owning another truck that would be interesting to the diesel community or the automotive community. But now that I'm getting this 5.9 in, I haven't really created any content for the other truck because it's garaged all winter. It's been in the garage since October. And so I've got a while before it can come out again. And so content has really slowed. But getting this 5.9 Cummins in, I'm going to be doing a lot of modifications and changes and updates right out of the gate. Getting this new truck, since it's a little bit more interesting than this, I'm going to be probably changing the name of my channel, and I'll start focusing on some of the mods and stuff that I do on that vehicle as I make it a little bit more modern. And I will also probably be doing ride-alongs with it since I'm going to be driving it a whole lot more. And so between my 95 Ford and this new 5.9 Cummins coming in, I should be able to create a lot more content in the future. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope all of you are too. And really, I really don't expect too many people to be watching this. Mostly I wanted to capture my thoughts and feelings on this day as I'm getting rid of this truck that I really love, and kind of document my feelings around it today and thoughts and my decision-making process on why I'm making this switch, because there's a possibility that this decision could completely blow up in my face. I don't think it will, but the possibility is there. And but I thought it would be fun to document this era ending, and then I can start with the delivery of this new truck and can start making content around both of my older pickups that I think will be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. So thanks for listening to me ramble on about this topic, and I'll see you in the future.